Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and for those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath, and this is my channel Evolve with Monette. We cover a multitude of topics from pulp culture to just regular things in our lives as empaths, light workers, earth angels. And before you get turned off, if you're not used to that conversation or that communication, please know that what I'm here to do is raise the vibration. And right now, there is an important conversation that needs to be had. In my work with my clients, one of the things that I come across often are abusive patterns and abusive themes. And a lot of that has to do with narcissism. And that's one of the things that I teach a lot about. And I have videos from as far back as 3 years ago where you can see that that's the thing that I came on here to talk about, really. And as the namesake of the channel is, it has evolved. But I do not ever deviate from the path, especially when there's such a powerful lesson right in front of us to learn from. In the last few weeks, we have seen Kanye devolve. Kanye West, if you're not familiar, is a famous American musician, rapper, artist, and entrepreneur, fashion designer, etc., who is married to Kim Kardashian West, who is no longer Kim Kardashian West. She has taken back her name, like Tina did when she divested from Ike. She just wanted her name back. She is Kim Kardashian. And Kim Kardashian is a entrepreneur in her own right, a billionaire, as well as Kanye is, and also now has entree into the fashion industry and the rest of it. I have another video up here where I talked about their life path. So if you want to know why they were attracted to one another, then please go check that out. But what I'm here to talk to you about right now is why this has gotten dangerous, why this is dangerous, and why maybe she wasn't paying attention to the red flags that all of us could clearly see. In my work, I have the opportunity to work with a lot of people that are in the industry, and I quite literally just finished a call with a Hollywood executive who worked on Keeping Up with the Kardashians for several years. Now, he's been a client of mine, and I am not obviously going to disclose any other information about him, but I have worked with him for a couple of years, and he worked with them 2 years ago. So he is not currently working with the Kardashians, but he did work for several years on that show. And I was talking to him about how I taught a class recently here on YouTube specifically. I said to a small few, only a couple of people have watched it, but I said I was teaching about their life path numbers and how they kept each other balanced, and I gave him my theory. And he said, "You're absolutely right. I got to see it work in real life," meaning that Kim was the balancer to Kanye's crazy, quote unquote, right? Allegedly, I don't want to be ableist, but Kanye actually is diagnosed with mental illness, but he also is bit of a megalomaniac, if not a bit, actually, truly, maybe an actual definition. Maybe look up in the dictionary, there's Kanye, and actually a narcissist. And it's all been all fun and games until recently, as Kim has left her ex-husband and they're in the process of the divorce and whatnot, and has begun to date. Now, this is not something that Kanye didn't do, but with most narcissists, there is a double standard between them and you. So he was allowed, to kind of parade around this new person who apparently they broke up today, if you are to believe anything that is said on the blogs or what is written in the news. I think this is on real news, that they broke up on Valentine's Day. That was yesterday. But here's what I'm going to say about this. He dated and did anything, but as with most narcissists, there's a double standard. And what we're watching is what I potentially, as I said, I'm a professional intuitive empath, so I'm in the business of making predictions, reading energies, and forecasting. And so what I'm looking at doesn't take a psychic to do, though. I think anybody with common sense who's ever been in an abusive relationship can disseminate that what we're watching is the unfolding of madness. And there's a word for it. It's called femicide. So it's violence against women. And it ranges from verbal harassment to other forms of emotional abuse to daily physical or sexual abuse. And at the far end of the spectrum, femicide is the murder of a woman. Now, these are trigger words that YouTube wouldn't want me to say, but I don't think that we have time to play. I don't give a damn about being monetized for this. I don't care if one person watches it or 100 million. Someone needs to hear this because it's a range of abusive energies. And that's an actual description that is coming from the World Health Organization, okay, in my notes here. This is not something that I'm making up to engender fear or to be dramatic about. This is serious. And because Kanye has a way of keeping us off kilter, we are not taking it seriously, meaning that sometimes some of the stuff that Kanye says can be funny. It's his madness and his insanity is so pervasive that we laugh at it sometimes and don't take it serious, but there's nothing funny about this. And as I was talking to this executive and he said, yeah, I saw it up close and personal, he really was balanced by Kim, and it was an absolute shit show, if you will, because she was the one that kept him sane in whatever regard. And he said something else. He said he won't take his medicine, which we all know to be true, because the medicine doesn't make him as sharp as he feels like he needs to be to channel what is true to him. Now, if you want to understand what I mean by that, go watch that video about their life path. A life path number 11 specifically has a very psychic connection to channeling and downloading artistic information, especially with a spiritual bent. Very much Kanye's whole situation. However, we are dealing also with that narcissist, megalomaniac, inconsiderate, ridiculous, sexist. I could keep adding on istis words to it. But what I don't want to add on for Kanye is murder. Right? Because it's interesting. He has recently threatened Kim's new boyfriend's life. It is documented, well documented, I'm sure, by the lawyers, well documented by the legal team, that if you believe me, if you think Kim doesn't have a legal team, then you're not awake. She is writing down all of this, for goodness sake, and she's even still trying to appeal to Kanye. Recently, there was a text exchange that he posted for the world to see that said Kim's other phone, where he didn't put up her number, thank God, and dox her, but he did show that she's trying to diffuse his energy even still as an abused partner in some capacity. And this is such a trigger thing, because what Kanye has been doing recently is been trying to make sure that Black people galvanize around him. And Black people love Kanye. White people love Kanye. But what we realize is that Kanye divested in certain ways from Black people. There was a whole conversation, and y'all, this is kitchen table talk, when Get Out was associated with him and Kim, when he was doing that interview with Charlemagne the God, and there was all these white walls and white hallways, and everybody was like, are you okay? Blink twice. Because at that time we were making it funny. It's the Kardashian curse and they've taken over your agency. No, Kanye is actually being revealed here as quite Machiavellian in his own way. He turns women into what he wants them to be, but what he cannot get with anybody, no Julia Fox and no Amber Rose, is the sanity, stability, and energy that he got from Kim. A narcissist always has a supply that they have as their favorite, that brings them the best benefit, that has the greatest payoff. And for Kanye, Kim will always be that. This is a weird thing to talk about, right? Because these are mega stars. They are billionaires. They're seeing money that many of us will never see. But what we know is that they are not exempt from humanity. They are not exempt from the lessons that we have lived, that have dealt with narcissists in our regular lives, working from Walmart to corporate America, to being in college, to dealing with parents. We are watching narcissism in full display and an unraveling in a cataclysmic way that I fear for Kim could end up dangerously. And I think Kim has acknowledged that too. In that text that he exposed where it says Kim's other phone, she says, you're making this dangerous and scary, and it doesn't have to be. Meaning people break up every day. But when a narcissist loses a supply, they will go in the most crazy of ways. There are various ways that narcissists deal with this. They will spiral out. They will attack everybody around them. They'll start a smear campaign. All things we're watching Kanye try to do. But the funny thing about it is the narrative between the two of them is already built in. Everybody that thinks whatever they think about Kim thinks it. Everybody that thinks what they think about Kanye thinks it, and they've lived their life very openly on the world stage. So we all have our opinions, and I've seen a lot of people qualify that they're concerned for Kim, but they don't like her. Nobody cares about whether you like her or not. My opinion on Kim, you can go hear about it in the other video, doesn't matter. Because when we're talking about femicide, I love women, period. I root for women, actually. I'm always factually going to speak up for what is right and wrong. And in this case, we're watching Kanye commit femicide while we have not got to the opposite end of the spectrum where murder is involved, God forbid. We are witnessing, actually, exactly what the World Health Organization says, a wide range of acts, from verbal harassment and other forms of emotional abuse. He's socially media stalking her, to daily and physical sexual abuse, to the far end of the spectrum. While Kanye may denounce that he's done some of these things, or may be in a delusional state of reality because he's not taking his meds, as that Hollywood executive confirmed, and as anyone around him has confirmed, as Kanye himself has confirmed in his own music, that does does not mean that Kim is not being exempted from this abuse and this femicide. It's not funny. Just because he's putting up stupid memes from movies and Venom and he's like putting people in chokeholds, he's making outwardly threats to Kim. Kim is a woman. Forget Kim the Kardashian. Think of Kim, your sister. Think of Kim, your next door neighbor. Think of Kim, that friend in college that got killed by some crazy person with ill will because they left. The highest instances of violent partner abuse happens after someone leaves. And just because Kim has all of his kids and security and a Pete Davidson by her side and a momager that works harder than the devil, as they say about I can't even think of her name right now, about the mother of all of these people, it doesn't mean that she is not in a dangerous kind of way. Just because we don't think that he's physically going to do anything, even though he's actually threatening it, doesn't mean that this is not dangerous. For those of you that are in a narcissistic relationship, this is why I say to you, when you're dealing with someone that is overtly as narcissist as Kanye is, you run quietly. Kim couldn't run quietly. Her life is on display. He's going to follow her and know everything. Some of us have the luxury, believe it or not, we always associate them with luxury. Some of us have the luxury to back away slowly from someone and move away from their life. And it doesn't mean that they won't stalk you at night. It doesn't mean that they're not paying attention to everything that you do, because they are. That's the thing that you need to understand. A narcissist will go so far and have zero boundaries. A narcissist does not have boundaries. And essentially, a narcissist is a child. And a child that's finally gotten good supply and nurturing. And what is one of the Kanye triggers we know for Kanye? Mothering. Because of his loss of his mother, it totally triggered off his mental illness to a new level. And his mother, previous to that, go watch my other video, who is a Life Path 33, was the person to balance Yi. Actually was a person to get him to calm down, and he transferred that into Kim. And when Kim could no longer stick around, because what any woman will tell you, and any man that suffered from narcissistic abuse, is you eventually just get exhausted. You no longer can take care of this perpetual child who is so incredibly selfish and absolutely wild, who is embarrassing you continuously, who is making you the butt of the jokes, who is following their own rules, and you better just understand and know, who has duality, duplicity, and double standards aplenty, and absolutely has no respect for anything in your life. You get exhausted and you no longer want to be their wife, their girlfriend, their bestie, their husband, their teacher, their mother. Only enablers stay forever, and people that get healthy move on to other endeavors. And even Kim is trying to manage him from a distance, as she knows that Kanye, left to his own devices, will spiral until it grows and grows and grows. And the thing is, we've never seen the full explosion of it, because there was always Kim there to manage it, or Donda, his mother, there to manage it. Now he is untethered, and we are watching what happens when Kanye is untethered. There would have been more rants on the internet and more craziness to be seen if there was not Kim by his side to control his fevered dreams. What I need you to understand is that femicide is not funny. Just because Kanye puts up a couple of memes and Twitter loves entertainment and Insta loves entertainment doesn't mean that he is faking it. He is truly having a mental break. When any narcissist loses a supply, it is the most devastating thing in their life. And not just a supply, because a narcissist will try to replace a supply, as we saw what he did with Julia Fox, but it will fizzle out quickly, and they will only grow in resentment to that new supply, because they'll be like, you're not the best that it could be. You're not the best of the supplies. Some of you guys listening today have been some people's best supplies. And if you think they're not still stalking your life, I'm not trying to engender fear in you, but it is to say, to protect your energy, as my fave Erica De Niro says here on YouTube, check her out. Protect your energy and to protect yourself, because you can end up as some kind of trophy, energetically or actually, on someone's shelf. And that's exactly what Kanye wants to do to Kim. We're all laughing and the world's laughing with him. That's why I put the location as Laugh Now, Cry Later. This can and will escalate, because this person is now fully untethered, without any supervision energetically. Doesn't matter who his crew is. He is ready to go to war with everyone, severing relationships with people that have been on his side, like Kid Cudi, just because he's friends with Kim's boyfriend, Pete Davidson. It doesn't matter if Pete Davidson is going to be a static person in Kim's life or transitory. He will ruin anything that is surrounding Kim, and he has no problem doing it. The narcissist behaves the same way. Kanye is clearly a narcissist, but he's a mentally unhinged narcissist. All mental narcissism is a mental illness, yeah? But we have someone who actually has other mental illnesses compounded upon it. So what we're watching is a perfect storm. I talked about it again in the other video if you want to get more of an understanding from a metaphysical and spiritual perspective. But from just like I'm a woman, just like I'm a woman who's dealt with narcissistic partners and had narcissistic parents and know the danger of it and also know what it is to leave with strategy and without. I've done it both ways when I've had to. But I do not envy Kim in this position because there are more things that Kanye will do, unfortunately. I am praying for his sake and for the sake of those kids and for the sake of Kim that it doesn't escalate the way that I feel that it is. I hope Kim's taking this seriously. I pray that she is, and I know that she has her legal team amassed. And from what I was speaking with that executive earlier today, no one laughed when it was happening. Even then, they said we understood that he could be a problem and that he was a ticking time bomb. That's a quote from an executive that worked on the show with them, that he was a ticking time bomb. Well, we are watching the tick, and I pray for all of our sakes we don't see the boom. If you know someone in this situation, protect their energy, help them come up with a strategy. Not everyone has the legal team and the money like him. But that doesn't mean that you have to take crap like Kim is taking from him. You can divest, you can get out, but be careful because people lose their mind when they lose control. And that's the only thing that a narcissist values is control. And when they lose that stronghold, it is absolute madness. It is bedlam. It is Jack Nicholson in The Shining. It is rivers of blood. And I hate to say that because I'm praying for, to God's sake, that it gets intercepted before it goes there. But the next time you're scrolling on your timeline and you're checking out the atmosphere and you see a lot of people making jokes, there's nothing funny there. This is serious. Kim is in actual real danger. Just because she's famous doesn't mean that she's less in danger. We've seen celebrities, unfortunately, unalive other celebrities for lesser. Right now, Kanye knows he will never have, listen, again, go listen to the other video. I'm not just trying to like amp up the video, but I don't want to spend a lot of time explaining this. But the fact of their master numbers and their attraction and what they were able to create together, the alchemy, the magic that they created together, even with his crazy narcissism, means that he'll never replace Kim ever, 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 ever. He knows it. We know it. She knows it. He took it for granted, as all narcissists will do. Discarded her, made her feel alone in so many ways. She talks about it on the show. We were watching a masterclass in narcissism and how you get discarded, how you get elevated and love bombed and put on a pedestal. And then he moved away, bought another house, did what he wanted to do with no regard for her feelings and thought that she was just going to hold the family together. Forget about her being Kim. Forget about her being selfish. Forget about anything you think about her. Think about it as a woman. What are you supposed to do? I so related to her when I saw a clip of her crying saying, I just want to be happy. That's all that is true when you're with a narcissist because there are so many unhappy days. And then a narcissist with real mental illness. Kim may at some point have thought Kanye is harmless. I think she knows better now. Kanye is in fact not harmless. And similar to what we watched Donald Trump do, where he galvanized and whipped up energy of people. This is specifically what Kim was speaking to and about when she said, Kanye, this is getting scary and it could be dangerous. We watched a president in America, if you're not from here, whip up and galvanize energy by rhetoric. That's all he did was talk. He didn't go out and hit anybody. He didn't go out and break into the Capitol himself, but he created an atmosphere and he created a stream of conscious and a general thought bubble in his followers and supporters where they thought, this is dangerous. Our democracy is not supporting us. Let's physically go attack our democracy. He galvanized a gang, and on January 6th of last year, they went and attacked the Capitol. And it was whipped up and created from fear that came out of the mouth of a Gemini person who was not stable and had much duality. If you care about this man, I don't give a damn. I'm talking about Donald Trump. Unsubscribe from me. What I'm telling you is I'm speaking factually on his Geminian duality from a practitioner's standpoint. He created drama that we actually could see that manifested into reality and into the atmosphere and into the ethos. Kanye, a Gemini as well, who hugged that man and said, you're my dad. Quite literally, there's like this Darth Vader connection between them in Kanye's head anyway, because I'm sure it's not the same for Donald. But what I will tell you is this. Kanye is capable of exactly the same. And a narcissist loves to use and weaponize the internet if they can, especially not just for fame, but to bring pain. What Kim was saying was if Pete gets hurt, or if any of us get hurt, Kanye, the blood is on your hands. And because Kim's the only one who can calm him down the way she can, even in his response, he said, I did what you asked because you're my wife and I'm your number one fan. Shit's getting scary, guys. This is like a creepy movie. This is like Eminem and Stan. I'm your number one fan. And so I will not hurt Skeet, which is the alternate name he's given Pete Davidson. But he doesn't know that one of his fans won't. That someone just as mentally ill as him, who believes in the rhetoric that he's the devil that destroyed his family instead of putting the blame where it needs to be, which is what the narcissist who never takes accountability for the million ways that they destroy a family dynamic and structure and cause issues to the kids and to the spouses and to everyone that radiates around them. And so Kanye will whip up all of this frenzied energy to someone out there who unfortunately is not mentally well, just like him. And they could be the one who takes out and act like John Lennon and decides to go and injure this person because of their own personal beliefs associated to Kanye, thinking that it will win some allegiance to him, just like Donald Trump supporters did on that January 6th day. It's not funny. This is real. It could happen. Do I think Kanye's physically going to do something? Though he's threatening it, I hope the lawyers are taking the pictures. No. But I do think that he's capable of sowing seeds that are demonic, that will grow. Femicide is not funny. Kim does not deserve to be harassed because she wants to laugh, because she wants to have a slice of pizza, because she wants to sleep with somebody who isn't objectifying her and making her change her wardrobe. Kim deserves to be happy. She deserves to be a mother who dates again, just like Kanye was dating prior to being divorced from Kim, while divorcing Kim, and will continue to do so after now. Narcissists have double standards. They want you to bow. He wants to control her. He sees her as property. And this is not just some weird stagnancy in his brain that if no one else can have you, or if I can't have you, no one else will. It's not just a red or blue pill. It's a very real thing that he's toying with. And with his mental illness unchecked, and without anybody pulling the reins, I do not want us to be witness to some Truman Show style-esque story that gets gory because no one understood that it wasn't funny. He's not joking, guys. And anybody that's ever dealt with narcissistic abuse knows that he's not joking. This is the truth. He would rather see her with nobody or even on this earth than to acknowledge how powerful she is and her worth and that she just deserves to be here because he sees her as something to control. It's never been about love. We need to have a real conversation about Kanye. All right, please leave your opinions below. Come back and join me next time and we will continue to evolve together.